there, everybody. Welcome back to EGFC's Overwatch matches. It's Tiny Shiny with HD Philly B for our B stream today. Marquette and UTK going to be kicking us off here for game number 1 of the night. And of course, we're getting to that point. We're getting into the nitty gritty of the season already. Week number 4. I mean, these teams, they've had a lot of chances to prove themselves out there. This is when things are going to get intense.
Yeah, Tiny. I mean, so Marquette has had a really tough couple of weeks. They've been 3-0'd by University of Hawaii, UT Arlington, NUD, and now they have to play UTK with Hydra, who's been playing outstandingly on the DPS role. They're going to have a really tough time in this one, facing another incredibly talented team. UTK should feel pretty comfortable in this matchup, so let's see if they come out guns blazing or if they try to mix things up, try some different tactics in this new meta, right? With maybe they try Sombra or something else to see if they can just kind of play test, do a little bit against this team here. So it should be, I'm favoring UTK in this one, but we'll see. Marquette may surprise us.
You really do never know. I mean, you do have to look at the history that the teams have so far this season. I've actually had the pleasure of casting UTK last week in their matchup against, I believe it was RIT, and they looked pretty darn good in that game, I do have to say. So, I mean, if they're looking to bring a lot of those similar aspects up into today, a lot of that teamwork that I remember seeing, I mean, they're going to be pretty good to go. I mean, they're a roster that is pretty well established. They've been here for a while. They know what they're doing, where Marquette, they're still looking for that first win of the season, and it's not going to be an easy path to go through. UTK definitely considered one of the stronger teams that we have here in the EGFC levels of competition. I mean, especially when I look at Blamethy and Hydra on that DPS line. I mean, they're just wonderful at everything that they end up doing on the field. And we're going to look forward to getting started to see that on, I was about to say, it is Ilios for map number 1. I get told 3 times, I almost forgot for a 4th, Philly.
I love it, Tiny. So Ilios, yeah, a fantastic map here in our week 4. So I'm curious to which one we'll go to. Is it going to be Well? Is it going to be Ruins? Is it going to be Lighthouse? I'm curious. I believe both teams will probably start with maybe Junker Queen or the Reinhardt. So definitely some of those more brawly compositions, especially with also May. I'm going to be looking at as well with her everything that they redacted basically from the last patch to this one with getting rid of the deep chill and all that stuff. So May's going to be coming at us, and probably Hydra on that Sojourn as well. So curious to see what they really come out with on Ilios here.
Oh, you don't know. You don't know what Hydra is capable of. If you've seen these teams. Last week, it was the Hydra show, Philly. That is all it was. It was Hydra on the Bastion, on the Soldier, and even on the Symmetra a little bit. I mean, the guy was nuts. Was so close to getting like a little deadlift for this team with the amount of final blows that he was able to rack up throughout the day. The performance was nutty, and apparently that's a pretty normal thing for UTK when they come out. They pump a lot of their resources into Hydra with the expectation that he is going to pop off. And, I mean, if you're Marquette heading into this right now, I mean, hopefully you've done your research and you're going to have an understanding of what to expect. Because coming out of the gates here, I mean, this is UTK. They're consistently strong at the start, and they're going to want to keep pushing that forward, where Marquette, they're still getting their feet wet. They're looking for that first win. It's going to be a tough one to come across today. As you stated previously, Philly, we do favor UTK heading into this match, but we want to see Marquette make this game close as possible.
Absolutely. And when you do have a golden goose player such as Hydra on the opposite side, right, Marquette, they're going to game plan for that. So either they try to pounce on him early, right, and they say they focus him and try to take him out, or they focus Duxta, because Duxta is actually the one that's really been creating space, rallying and pushing the opposing team into certain areas, where then Hydra just annihilate them, the Sojourn or the Bastion or what have you. So there's a couple of different tactics that I could see Marquette trying to go out here in this matchup tonight. So we are on Ruins with a lot of long sight lines. We do have Hydra posturing on the Widowmaker and Blamethy on the Hanzo, so that double sniper strategy coming out, which I do love to see. On the other hand, the May from Marquette, like we were saying in the Junker Queen, as we were mentioning as well. So definitely a good matchup there, and I like the Symmetra coming out from them as well. They're going to be using the space of Mickey to use that speed boost to get them in and out and create some havoc. But the only concern here that I have, Tiny, is how are they going to get onto this backline and take out these snipers?
Yep, 2 very different styles of how a Junker Queen composition is to be played. UTK, they're going for this ranged gameplay, which unless Blamity or Hydra come up with an elimination here, Duxta is gonna have some issues when they start to see Stomp, Zippy, and Axe Hand on this front line like they're seeing now. And the nice thing about this is Zippy needs to be very careful about the positioning, can't get as aggressive. The turrets are gonna help slow Duxta down so they can't get a solid point presence. And that's gonna be the biggest weakness that we're gonna see out of the Volunteers today, is they're not gonna have the same point presence as Marquette with that Symmetra May here.
And Duxa got really low there, so maybe that's the strategy, is that they're going to try to focus them down first and then kind of collapse the dominoes after that. But using the commanding shout to back out, get the healing, like we know the healing is absolutely nuts right now in Overwatch.
Oh,
and
there it is!
From Hydra right in the midair, shot
there
to the Royal
it is!
Ranger. All of them, a double kill for Hydra coming down, just annihilating the folks with Zippy, bringing it back down. But no, Hydra says no chance, here's triple.
All right, the beast has awoken. Hydra is here to play for UTK. What was that? 4 final blows in that one fight. I mean, that's the sights built up. And with UTK back in control here, Philly, they're going to have all of these sight lines to work with.
And a ton of ultimates to boot. With getting all of those kills, your ultimate charge is going to accrue quite quickly. So yeah, we'll see how, if Blemthy tries to lead in with the dragons. You see him taking a nice off angle here, and here come the sights to try to figure out where the Volunteers are going to try to come in, and this sight line is dangerous for them. You got to be careful.
I mean, you got to move out of the way, but what can you do if you're all painted in the color purple? Blamity finding Zippy, that first elimination. Great start for UTK, but can they turn it into more? The players on Marquette, they're isolated, they're down low in health, and they have to come roaring back. Those are the snipers gone. Marquette did just the right thing by getting those more vulnerable heroes out of the picture first, taking those longer rotations, and that's going to give them that point capture back.
Hey, that was an absolutely massive sound barrier coming out from the side of Mickey. It was perfectly timed, right? As you said, painted in purple, but they were able to keep topped up by that sound barrier.
Wait a minute! Blamy's on the Widow! What happened here? What? I just swapped over to the Genji, Blamity went over to the Widow, and suddenly there's another triple kill, but for another Widowmaker player. Philly, what am I watching right now? I mean, UTK, they're full on flexing their muscles. When it comes to Marquette, I mean, a quadruple for both DPS players so far. I mean, Marquette, they started to look so good, but all of it just went up in flames.
My goodness, I mean, this just, yeah, that flexibility you were talking about, but I like this because they wanted a little bit more backline pressure. The Hanzo was trying to get some off angles, but not getting too much done. I think Blemthy only had one pick to his name, so going in with the Genji to kind of dive the backline, cause some havoc there, and then create more space to get those.
Duxta again, the rampage. Oh, it's the rampage is out. It didn't hit. Kankon had that Suzu to help clean that up. Where Duxta, it was just free reign out here. That was Marquette's best opportunity to use their ultimates here, Philly, and it is just gone. That's going to be UTK. They're pulling ahead in front of the ult economy and in percentage.
Yeah, that was a nice corral there by the UTK. They kind of forced Marquette into a certain pathway and then just pounced on them. Just used that rampage to a massive effect, painting people in purple, as you mentioned, and they just fell one by one. So a nice team fight from there. Let's see how Marquette decides to approach.
Made the swap over to the Wrecking Ball. I mean, Stomps just wants to try to get the touch here, and with how aggressive Blamity is playing, I mean, I get it, you're good at the Widow, but that's a little crazy coming out. You need to show some respect to Marquette here because your team is dying for the Widowmaker right now. But doesn't even matter, even if Legacy has fallen, Marquette, they're still down 4v3. And this is their last chance. The overtime wick starting to burn down. Duxta not gonna go anywhere anytime soon. The Blade, a cherry on top to this lovely performance of an opening Helios Ruins.
Just Blemthy just putting in that shot just because they can. Wow, yeah, fantastic performance from the DPS duo on UTK. Something that I would like to mention as well is the support line, right? Keeping everybody up. I think Duxta may have died maybe only once or twice. So the support line really knowing where the keystone member of their team is and what they need to do to keep them alive. So really well done by them. I did like the swap onto the ball. Obviously, I know it's a stall champion, but they did get a pick off of it and was able to really force UTK to turn around, go focus on the point. Fortunately, they only had 3 members at that point, so they couldn't really stay on the point very long. But we'll see. That's only one map down. Let's see if they can win it on this one.
Ruins, a much different architecture than the other instances of Helios. Lighthouse, going to be much different. I mean, this is where Zippy and Axe Hand are going to be able to set themselves up on the objective. I mean, look at UTK. They're on the Widowmaker, not gonna change. That alone, even just existing, is such a threat to Marquette, and it buys UTK so much room to work with. And you know, they're gonna bunker down on point, waiting for the inevitable poke to come in as a Bionade. Ken Kong on to 3. The support still struggling to stay alive. Roll Ranger will never be healed. Neither will Mickey. Blamity claiming both eliminations. And I mean, Marquette, they thought they were safe, but these Bionades from Ken Kong are absolutely insane.
Tiny, that was wild. That was a 4-person Bionade, and,
Wow.
and the supports just fell. They couldn't do anything. They couldn't.
I mean, Marquette is still not. Why are Marquette still in this? Why are they here? Legacy, why are you pushing as 2v1? I get it. Brig could feel like a tank sometimes, but I'm gonna break it to you. She is not a tank by any means. I mean, Duxta ended up going straight to the spawn and just realized that they forgot to capture the point. I mean, Marquette, they've been ticking up percentage that whole time and will get nearly 30 off of it plus some.
Wow, that was almost like a quick play match for a second. Where
What?
it's just 1 or 2 people coming in at a time.
Oh my.
All right, well, they're going to try to regroup this time, come in as 5, and see if they can recontest the point. But no, a massive pick by Blamity once again.
Blamity! Okay, Blamity can't keep doing this to them. Marquette just want to push in to a fight. Be honorable, let them take the fight. But I guess if you're playing Widow into this, fine. If you can hit the shots, I mean, that's all on you for the skill. I mean, ooh, this is so scary to be watching. And we know where all of these players are. And actually, UTK do as well. And Blamity starts to get a move on. You can see the Jarker Queen moving closer to you. And you're walking straight into the rest of the team. Are you absolutely mad? Perhaps. But can still hit the shots when it's needed the most. Duxta claiming the life of Zippy as Marquette finally get that team fight that they wanted just for Duxta to shut it down. And do manage to get live with the tank. Not nearly gonna be enough to turn the tables though. As the last one still standing. Another beautiful shot from Blamity. I mean, this is just UTK. They're feeling themselves.
Yeah, no doubt. And so that was a good rotation by Marquette, really trying to pounce on the Widow as they were just on the low ground there, but they weren't fast enough to finish the kill off. They were, she was able to escape just in the nick of time, and by that, their backs returned to the entirety of UTK, and they just got bowled over after that. So they did try to go for the single target strategy, but weren't able to execute it all the way. But here comes Axeman, bringing Blamity down, face to face.
There's actually a May wall up to the high ground to get the Widow down. All right, that's something. But Marquette once again found in a sea of purple, courtesy of Duxta. The Blizzard, yeah, that's gonna get rid of the tank. Marquette are back in control, but how long is that really gonna last with this Bionade coming in? Ken Kong still managing to do so much with UTK, and as short-lived as Marquette's point percentage is, you're gonna have to give it up once again.
My goodness, the accuracy from this on is absolutely nuts. Every Bionade, every sleep dart, every shot is hitting somebody. That's tough to deal with. If you can't counter the skill level there, you're gonna have a tough time. That's right.
But like that's all it is, and there's so many things that UTK are doing right. I mean, Hydra's chasing players down, Blamity is just chilling, making this look easy. I mean, I wish my Widowmaker looked like this, but this is all Blamity, time, skill, and of course, good old classic aim to help give UTK its map #1 win. I mean, this is absolutely insane. Absolutely insane for an opener. We wanted to see them out strong. We had that high expectation of Hydra especially, but we can't go through this without talking about King Kong, without talking about Blamity, and heck, the entire team of UTK, because they just look so comfortable in this comp.
Yeah, and I think something I have to mention is how pestering the Hydra was on this Tracer, right? Like, they didn't do anything to counter it. Like, the turrets were never up from the sim, the May couldn't even turn around to freeze before they were dead, so the Tracer was actually causing so much havoc that it created enough space for the Widow to just free range, shoot shots from above, do the grappling shots off the hook, and just do whatever they wanted. So I think that Tracer pick was actually really the key component of this composition to really bring it home. But you're right, this is a tough one for Marquette. But let's see, sometimes doing the brawl comp, like doing when you're brawling on control, that's not really indicative of how you can strategize for some of these later maps that you need to hold different points and do the escorts and things like that. So maybe Marquette has a strategy moving forward.
And, that's kind of the thing, right? Is that control is often the oddball out of all of our different map types, just because it does encourage chaos. Each of these teams, they're constantly on, you're running at each other head to head, right? You're on a mirrored map type. Nobody is at a clear advantage. And that, of course, is going to change as you head into a hybrid, for example. When teams are set in a role of offense or defense, it changes the pathing. I mean, there's a lot of importance on that. And the pathing that we did say Marquette take, and several instances there was pretty good, and that does give us some hope going on in. And of course, it's every collegiate player's favorite map in the whole game, it seems. We're heading to Kings Row for map number 2. I mean, this one was pre-selected, so nobody did pick it, so I'm okay with it for now. But Kings Row, after all, it's the signature of basically any Overwatch team. This Junker Queen, incredibly viable, but also the chance to switch it up if Marquette wished to do so.
Yeah, and speaking of that, Tiny, it looks like we do have some changes on the side of UTK. Looks like Blamethy will be going to the tank role, and Duxta will be going to the DPS position. So let's see if that, there's some strategy that they have coming out. Maybe Duxta's a really good, let's say, an Ashe player or something like that, right? That they're really going to try and hammer this one home. Yeah, Kings Row, an absolute favorite of mine for sure. I think I said that last time I casted this set of maps. But Tiny, I have a question for you. Last cast year, you wanted Hydra on your team professionally. You were like, "Hey, I gotta message this guy. I gotta let him know." Did you reach out? Did you?
I was too scared. I mean, Hydra's just like really good at what he does, and I'm a mere plat player, so like, I'm gonna let the guy do his thing. Throughout this series, just watching this team, you know what I did? I was writing my notes down. Everything was going great. I had my pencil here. You know what happened? That is how I feel about this game. I got so tense and excited because of how Hydra and Blamethy were playing throughout that map. I literally broke the only writing utensil that I have. So, hey, at least it's still functional. All I need is like an inch of a pencil, and it will end up working. And, hey, that's going to be the same for Marquette. They have the opportunity to write their own stories. They'll be starting out on the defense. New support coming in. Hattie will be taking up the Ana here on a complete change of style, and one I'm quite a fan of.
Yeah, so Sigma is definitely S tier right now in terms of this meta. So a lot of especially if you're trying to play that poke, that's going to be the keystone for you. And comboing that with the Ana, I think that's a really good way to do it because he can be kind of static, right? And kind of slow moving. He's easy to hit those shots if you're on the Ana. So maybe Mickey, they were just a good Lucio player, but Hattie is their tried and true Ana specialist. So I like this switch here, especially on the defense. They're going to try to hold this corner, play this little statue choke between the hotel, and try to get some pickoffs and keep UTK at bay.
And that's exactly what you need. You need to have this range, that shield, shove it right up in Duxta's face, who is now with the Widowmaker. This is the third UTK player we're seeing on the Widowmaker in like, what, 10 minutes? That's nuts! And clearly, Duxta fine with playing the Widow! It's another double kill! UTK should not be allowed to have this many sniper players on their roster. It feels illegal, Philly, for this to happen. And Marquette, they're so lost, they're confused themselves. Like, how has this happened for a third time?
My good. I guess their practices just consist of just Widow battles. I guess they're just putting everybody on the map and just shoot each other.
Just Widow 1v arena. That's the whole time. That's all they do. They just do Widow 1v1 arenas.
My goodness. Well, from a tactical standpoint, obviously if you have a Widowmaker who can nail 2 headshots in a row, that's going to open this up like a can of worms, and you just take that point so easily. And here comes Hydra on the back and just getting a pick on his counterpart, just out of the blue, just launching grenades willy-nilly and finds one. My goodness.
That is what we call classic Junkrat moment. Hydra chucking some mines in the back line. Hey, it happened to hit some great. I got a kill. Such a fun hero to play, am I right? The Marquette Axehead is playing the exact same thing, so the potential is there. Just not at this exact moment as things are getting even sillier as the game goes on. There's now a Roadhog on my screen. Blamethy, this is not okay. Why are you doing this to them? That shield goes down. Hook relatively free. Nice Bionade though. Hattie doing quite a bit to force Blamethy back, especially with the constant slew of cooldown thrown in, but with Axehead taking the L, the Hydra and the Junkrat 1v1 for a second time now. That progress gonna be stunted, and Riptire, it's coming out. Looking for the Baptiste. Nope, just Hattie in the back. A lot of ultimates committed here from Marquette. They want to try to keep some form of hold on the bookstore, knowing it's important for the second objective of Kings Row. And these few trades that they're managing to get, yes, they look good, but it's not going to stop the might of Blamethy and Legacy.
Wow. Tanya, I really like this composition with the Roadhog because Roadhog is going to just walk through the shield of the Sigma, and he'll just get in there and hook him, right? And he'll just smack him. He'll do whatever, right? Yep. And so I really like that. And then they're comboing it with the Kiriko to keep him alive. So he knows that they're going to get purpled or he's going to get slept. And so if you have the Suzu on point, he can get right back into the fight, take a breather, and start laying down some more damage. So they really actually, it seems silly, but they follow this strategy. And a hook from Blamethy, as I say it, puts the Sigma into the hole.
and that hurts. That really hurts. I mean, Marquette, they wanted to get the touch out there, but who expects the big old pig to be hanging out over by the pit? I mean, Stomps just completely fell infinitely through the hole, and I mean, what do? Marquette, you now have 5 minutes to have to defend this third point. Yes, you have the ultimates to do so, but the momentum's certainly not in your favor.
Yeah, not by any means. And I think they just don't know what to do against it because they are throwing the sleep darts, the bio grenades, they're doing everything else, but that's the only CC that they have. And sometimes with the Roadhog, you really need to put the pedal to the metal and just get in his face to take him down. So it was a huge ultimate from him in this small corridor. This is not where you want to be, facing that huge Gatling gun of all that scrap. So a nice jump done by him. He got slept out of it, but it was just at the end of it, so he got his worth from that ultimate.
This is brutal. This is brutal. I mean, look at this. Marquette have had both of their support ultimates plus artillery strike for so long. Haven't had the chance to use them until now, and Zippy isn't even able to get a touch on the point. Yes, you grab Legacy. Nobody from Marquette is able to peek their faces around the corner, and that is, they gained time. They gained time, Philly. 4.5 minutes at plus 3 seconds, because why not, on the clock with a full completion.
That cart never stopped. It never stopped, Tiny. It kept going the entire time. Zippy had to use the artillery strike just to try to get out of spawn, but by that point it was too late. Nobody could even touch after that. So that was just a really clean take by UTK here. They actually had a good strategy, like I was mentioning, with this Roadhog Kiriko combo, and really just kind of pushed through this low middling Sigma composition. So that was, it's going to be a tough time bank to beat for sure.
If they beat this somehow, I will literally give every player on Marquette $100. Like that is how confident I am in the time bank that UTK has set right now. It's crazy. 4.5 minutes. And yes, time to light, I hear you in the back. You can hold me to that. Do whatever you would like. I actually don't have the money, so Marquette, please don't suddenly pop off that much. I do want to see you pop off. I do want to see you get a full completion. Just not in with that much time on the clock, please. And thank you very much. They are going to make some adaptations heading into their own attack. But the defense is where I want to focus now. Things continue to get even sillier.
Yeah, so they add the Sombra in here, which I do like, because if you get to the hack onto that Roadhog, that'll spell doom for him there, especially if you put the little virus on him first. So I really like that switch up, because they're trying to counter him. They know that they're going to try to run this silly comp once again, so they're going to try to punish it. And here they do, already breaking that choke point. Let's see if they can get the rest of their members through. Blamethie trying to play these corners and find a hook. Swings and misses.
Oh. Hack is making it a little bit harder. As soon as that disruption comes in, I mean, Axe Hand just forces Blamethie to go back. You don't have access to those cooldowns. It's just so much focus fire on you. So the hard part with running the Diva, though, is we're seeing now there's no way to physically block a hook. You're fully relying on Stomp's reaction time and positioning to help keep their team alive as these hooks start to roll through, because they're essentially free as Blamethie sees fit to land them out. Marquette do end up making it to the point, but not without some casualties at Stomp's D-Mech. I mean, there's no protection for the rest of the team, and the rest of Marquette are short to fall.
Yeah, I mean, I did like that initial rotation on the side of Marquette. They were able to get to this high ground, and they kind of hopped a few members across. But then, as Diva was protecting everybody with that D matrix, they got hooked out of it, just like you mentioned, Tiny. Like, that's not going to stop the hook. So, and once that happened, everyone tried to collapse to save the Diva, and it just, my goodness, no! What a sneaky hook that was, taking Royal Ranger down and sending him back to spawn. My goodness.
That was just mean. I mean, talk about a game of peekaboo, but like a horror version of just Blamethie jumping out from behind a bus and just destroying poor old Royal Ranger. I mean, he's not done yet, still running through the rest of the team. And I mean, at this point, if you're Marquette, you need to take a full reset. Don't even walk out of the spawns right now, because Blamethie will find you.
Tiny, it is spooky season, so he's trying to do his best to strike fear into the hearts of Marquette. And I believe he's doing so. That jump, alling to hook Biana to the face. I mean, that was just incredible play, but also very scary at the same time. Oh, they're trying to punish him now. They hacked him, and they toss some things on him, but they weren't able to go as the rally came in to keep him alive.
The Roadhog just has so much sustain. It cannot be a valid dive target here, even if Blamethie looked vulnerable for half a second. I mean, the rest of UTK, you throw a Suzu, give him some armor packs, you have to take a breather. I mean, the Hog isn't gonna die, and I mean, Marquette, they had the right idea. That was the first coordinated push they've managed to make on the attack, and they gotta do another one, just not onto the tank.
Yeah, Tiny, and they're running out of time. Just about a minute 35
Yep.
on the clock, and a whole slew of ultimates on the side of UTK to support any sort of advance on the side of Marquette. And here they go. The Kitsune Rush lays in, but Ducksta finds a nice head on the side of Axehand to send him back to spawn. And here comes the goo to lay out across the entire battlefield. There's no advancement coming forward on the side of Marquette now.
Marquette, they ended up, they commit the nano boost here onto Stomps. I really don't know how to feel about that. I mean, that Bionade, it's very nice to help it go through, but I mean, the Diva can only do so much by herself here, and Stomps goes down. Ducksta, all right, catches a clip of the tactical nuke. You're now up one. If you're Marquette, they'll spawn's much longer. They have a chance, especially with the EMP here, Billy.
Yeah, that was close. I'm going to email the devs about that one because it looked like he was out of range behind the door. So very unfortunate pick off from them. But Sojourner is very quick to get back with their slide and their mobility. So, but you're right. They do have the advantage. They need to press it now. You have the MP and they let it fly.
Ooh, there it is. On to 4 players, but Accent ends up going down. Ducksta on the high ground now, has the overclock in hand. Nobody is looking up at the Soldier. This is a major problem right now. UTK, they're still up and fighting. All thanks to Ducksta, who's still nobody even recognizes it by the time Zippy turns around. It's too little, too late. The assassin strikes from above, and Marquette University so close, yet so far. Only about 10 seconds on the clock here. They're gonna try their best to make it touch, but even if they end up getting one, what win conditions are you working on? What can possibly be used to get onto this objective? Yeah, touch is guaranteed. Zippy will do it, pays for it with their life. Marquette, you're gonna try to follow up. The Bionade, nice, with the Suzu coming in even nicer. And I mean, Marquette, as good as they have gone through, UTK have been one step ahead the entire game of Kings Row and are now up to match point in the series.
Yeah, and I think the deciding factor on that last couple engagements was the fact that that Ducksta did get picked off. So he came back, and Marquette wasn't able to track it. They didn't know where he was going to pop out from, and he popped out on their backsides with the overclock in hand, and just wow, here it is, the perfect example for me. He was just nailing folks with that overclock 100% charge. So he was effectively able to save the point there and cause a whole heck of a lot of damage. So well done from him, but that was a deciding factor, at least for me, in terms of how they were able to sustain that fight, keep that defense for that full hold.
I mean, it was actually great from UTK. Even when things started to look big, they proved that they had that clutch factor to come up and of all of it be the tank, DPS player in Ducksta here on the Sojourn of all things. And Marquette, to be honest, this is a match that they knew going into it. It's going to be tough. UTK, once again, I'm going to say it, are one of the stronger teams that we have here in the EGFC division. And as good as they put up the attempts, they gotta keep trying. You still have one more chance to come on back here on our flashpoint map of Suravasa. But before we get there, we're gonna head to a short break. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Our series is getting ready to continue here. UTK up 2-0 on match point over Marquette for the EGFC Week 4 matchup. And hey, this is the last chance coming on through. Map number 3 coming up. I did misspeak. Map's not my friend today. Apparently I had a 50-50 shot. I missed. It is New Junk City, not Suravasa. So we will go ahead and get to see the Junker Queen hopefully come back out on this map as expected. But considering we saw a Roadhog last game, I don't even know what to expect anymore, Philly.
Well, Tiny, I'm not taking you to the casino anytime soon. Let's say that with the odds you're going on.
That would be illegal.
But
So.
No, but I would like to see the Junker Queen on this. Maybe even Wrecking Ball a little bit, just trying to run folks down, run around the map. But if we saw anything from Ilios in terms of how these two teams are battling out when it comes to these kind of brawl compositions, going head to head in these skirmishes, I think I'm going to take UTK on the side of their DPS duo. But like you said, you never know. Marquette might have their brooms out ready for that reverse sweep. And this might be the momentum that they need in this kind of elongated fight sort of map type. So we'll see if they can pull it out on this one.
Hey, Marquette, clearly very intelligent. We actually got briefed on some facts from Royal Ranger on the break. The one that I remember specifically, because I took way too long to think about this, is that Africa apparently has a part of their country in all 4 hemispheres. Can you believe that, Billy? I'm not good at geography. Did I say country? My God. See, this is why I talk about Overwatch, and I'm not a history oh my God. Can I go home now? Please,
no, you got one more match after this, Tiny. We got one more for everybody. But that is a fun fact. And I think the other one that Royal Ranger actually mentioned is that the oldest wooden wheel is like 5,000 years old or something like that. So, they're having fun out here. All these students, they're at their, universities learning stuff and sharing the knowledge with the rest of us here. So I appreciate that. I've been out of school for a little bit of time. So anything I can pick up, I appreciate.
Okay, I guess I need to go to Marquette now and learn more about geography. I'll look into that at a later date. But for now, let's focus on what is ahead. New Junk City shall be coming up here momentarily. I'm in UTK, just on this verge of getting another full sweep coming on out. And with the way they've been playing, whether they decide to return to their original roles or not, I don't think it's going to matter too entirely much unless Marquette have some sort of secret ace that they've been hiding up their sleeve this whole time. It's a really tricky thing to play against UTK when they're just on a different level when it comes to this individual star power that they have. And they make the game so chaotic where Marquette are struggling to keep up. Even if they're playing together as a team, as a unit, they're getting overwhelmed by those individual members poking in from all of those different angles. Fortunately, a map such as Flashpoint feeds very well into such chaos, and that's what we're going to be looking forward to as we get ready to head in here momentarily, which I guess we are taking our time to go ahead, look this over, and make sure that they do have a plan heading in. I'm always a fan of being prepared, so hey, I can be here all day. Take all the time you need, guys.
So, Tiny, you're absolutely right. And so I think something that differentiates teams is the fact of when they're under duress, when they're under pressure, can they make the appropriate changes? Because during the week, you do your scrims, you do your VOD reviews, you have a plan for each map type, the compositions that you want to do. But when the other team throws out something that you haven't seen before, it's a different look like that Roadhog, then it's up to you to kind of pull yourselves together, either the captain of the team or somebody makes a call out that says, hey, this is what we need to do. And I think that that's where Marquette is struggling right now. They have their strategy that they're going in with, and then when a wrench comes in, they fluster, they scatter, they don't know what is going to happen next. They don't know. They need somebody to step up in that leadership role and say, hey, this is what we need to do. Everybody relax. We got this. And so you're right. They're going to need that big time on this map, as it is just chaotic all around as people are running to the different points, trying to capture everything, doing little skirmishes here and there. The one thing that Marquette cannot do is get caught out as they're transitioning between these different sections of the map. So they're going to use Mickey now as they get subbed back in here, create a little bit more of that speed, that little bit of flexibility there to maneuver their team in and out of these spaces. So I do like that switch. Hottie coming onto the Alati. I love that. This is a huge DPS and healer. So maybe that's what they need to kind of pick out some of these characters on the other side.
Not a traditional comp that we're seeing, at least the support side, but Hattie making the application. I like it. Mickey, of course, she'll be on the least two. Here's the speed. That stuff is there. I don't even want to talk about what UTK are doing right now because it hurts my brain to physically think about how this is a competitive collegiate comp. But clearly, not a concern if you're just going to have the Discords combo with the Roadhog hooks. You don't have healing, though, with Lucio Zen. This is just so weird. I can't wrap my head around this, but whatever you do, UTK, they know that they're good, they're confident in whatever they do, they're willing to get a little bit silly, and just hopefully not too much, because as little as we know that if Marquette, they can find a window of opportunity, we're gonna work with it.
Yeah, they will capitalize. So yeah, you might try to toss out something silly, but hey, you can't make mistakes. This is still collegiate Overwatch. These players practice all the time. They're being coached, things of that nature. So, but they have to come into this hectic, a slew of mines from the Junkrat and the Reaper just pestering anybody that gets close. So they're gonna have to be careful as they try to approach us with no shielding on their side.
They have no shielding, and at least Duxta's a little bit out of range. Now actually back on the tank, so that feels a little bit better, but the Roadhog there, is there too much of a difference coming through? Can't say so, because Zippy is down, the Rift Terror going in, looking for any remaining targets, finds Mickey, and that'll be another team wipe coming through for the UTK Volunteers.
Yeah, that was a a good collapse after the space was created from that tire. The tire did pick one, but it spread everybody out, and then from there, the coordination, the communication on the side of UTK was just like, all right, you're dead, you're dead, you're dead, and everybody was back to spawn. So a great team kill, a good display of communication and coordination on the side of Tennessee. All right, but Marquette, they still have one more chance to contest this. They're going to use making in their speed boost to try to get back in, dodge some of these grenades coming out from Glemathy, and see if they can contest this point one last time.
It's going to be Zippy that's going to get onto the point here with Stomps to get that contest. The overtime now burning, but Actan goes down. That's the thing. Use Lucio for the speed, yet escort Hydra and Duxta around the map. And I mean, suddenly UTK, they're playing this Roadhog like a full-on Reinhardt right now. Even if the touch comes through, Arena will inevitably be going away of the orange squad today. And we'll be moving on to our second flashpoint.
Yeah, and I do like the Zen. I know Zen is pretty low tier right now because he's just so slow, so stable. His healing output is pretty weak. But they're coupling the Discord with the hook to great effect to increase that one-shot kill capability of this Roadhog. Once again, really facilitating him in everything that he can do. Like we saw Jericho last game, this time it's with the Zenyatta, so you're trying to facilitate and bring the best out of this Roadhog here. Hydra does have the Reaper ultimate. He's looking for it. He finds him. Oh, is he gonna use it?
No! They don't know! Hydra straight in the backline doing the good old dance of clearing the field of any side of Marquette University. Wonderful use of the positioning here, getting that early start on to bomb. This is not bomb flats. I'm gonna say that every time. It's a good old classic Ducks to start us out. And yeah, University of Tennessee, they're in control.
Yeah, but they do have a couple ultimates coming online. Looks about all 5 of them. So let's see if they can kind of layer them, maybe 2 or 3 to try to take this point. The percentage is still early on this area. So if they use them to great effect, they could capitalize and start accruing percentage for themselves. I would like to see an opening pick here. Maybe Zippy tries to pop in, create a distraction with the pulse bomb, and then they come in and layer with the blizzard from Axe Hand and then collapse on them from there. Here goes the commanding shout. They're making their approach.
They're making their approach, but you don't have that main ultimate you're banking off of. This is the best chance for Marquette to come back and win this fight. If they can get out of it with just using Sound Barrier, you can be good to go in for round number 2 and grab one more contest here on the Ducks before time runs out.
Yeah, that was very fortunate. Good patience, good control from not just everybody spamming Q when you're under duress, right? So Mickey, yeah, they did try to, create some sustain there, and if that didn't come to fruition, they're like, all right, the fight is done. We won't use invest anything else. There can't be a pick here. Okay, all right, they're on the same team. Every time someone gets close to each other, I'm getting nervous that there's going to be an elimination. Oh, Zippy with the shot it, sent back to spawn. It's a disaster now for the side of Marquette.
Marquette just not having it right now, and this is brutal coming on out. The Roadhog is throwing them for such a loop. You don't have any mitigation against it, and they don't really have a chance to do much with their abilities. They'll end up losing out on the Ducks now, and I have to hope that they can start to turn something around and use this plethora of ultimates they've been holding on to for game 3.
Yeah, Mickey now switching over to the Moira to try to maybe put in a little bit more healing since Hattie has been kind of getting picked off quite early, is a little slow to approach some of these areas. So let's see if Mickey can use this Moira to some effect here. Zippy's holding on. They find something here. They go for the tried and true target of the Zenyatta. They find it. This is the opening now, but here comes King Kong with the sound barrier to put everybody topped up, and that turned the fight around.
This is going to be enough, though. I mean, Stomps can do a lot, but if you can't get close to your opponents because a whole lot of hogs is in direction, what do you expect to happen? You gotta commit more. That's the Blizzard on hand. Marquette, they want to win this first fight of the bomb flags for real this time, and they're gonna go ahead and grab it for the first time. They got some percentage going.
All right, there we go, Tiny. That slew of ultimates just being used to great effect there, layering them well. So, and there's a good change here from Hattie to the Jericho to put a little bit of extra sustain, kind of mitigate that Discord right with the Suzu to try to keep some of their players up. So a nice main wall there to try to slow the approach now of UTK.
Gonna help, but ooh, Axe and in a heap full of trouble, caught up and yet another Death Blossom. Hydra doing a good old tango in the back, and there you go. That's gonna be UTK coming back into control. Looking to match 54% of Marquette.
Yeah, so Axan did use the wall on that choke point to try to, slow everybody down, but that actually Hydra used that to their advantage to kind of sneak through get into the backline and just lay down the Death Blossom, just take everybody to town. So that was a really smart play by Hydra, using the opponent's structures to his advantage. A massive switch now for Axan, laying down some massive fire with this bazooka and pocketed by the Mercy. Love to see a Pharmacy in action here. Maybe that's the answer they need to fight this Roadhog, who can't really shoot that high in the air.
You would like it to be now. This Riptire is always such a good tool to at least guarantee one elimination, but if they're all in the sky, what can you do? Looking to do some sort of antics. Can he get him? No way! Wormity snipes them both. Mickey and Axehead explode into a pile of flesh and bones. And what a way for UTK to hold on to this point.
Tiny, that was at the very threshold of the area of effect of that bomb. That was, I thought they were free. I was like, all right, they got this. No chance in heck. They got absolutely annihilated with that tire. Wow, well done.
Oh, I mean, what else do we expect from somebody like Blamothy on this Junkrat? I mean, UTK, they just want to close this game out here and now. No tank available for Marquette. That was the only ultimate that they had at their disposal. And with these hooks coming in onto the Pharmacy, Marquette, they just don't have the answers. They don't have the tools to contest, and UTK are going to take the series 3-0.
Wow, another spooky hook coming out from Duxta. He was hiding behind that cargo crate, and as Stomp was just trying to make their way back to the point, just gets hooked out of their blind side and taken down immediately. And from there was nothing he could do. Pharmacy's not there to contest the point. Here's that Death Blossom we were talking about. Wow. But yeah, so not able to contest the point with that Pharmacy, and so with that, that's an easy win there for UTK. That's a 3-0 once again. Now, I will say this about UTK. After reviewing the history of matches that they haven't really come up with some fierce competition yet. They haven't played UD. They haven't played Arlington. They haven't played Hawaii. A lot of these big contenders they haven't played yet. So they've been kind of, I think they played RIT twice. They played Marquette once. So a few of these, they're good teams, but a little bit, different tier level. So I would like to see how they stack up against some of these upper level teams. So hopefully we get to catch one of those in the future.
Oh, we definitely will. We'll get to see them on stream, and I'm going to be looking forward to those days, because those are the games that are really going to put UTK to the test, right? I mean, Marquette, they're a valid opponent, right? I mean, they are here, they showed up, they kept an positive attitude all the way through. That in itself is incredibly impressive, especially within the competitive Overwatch scene. But when you are you're just on a different skill tier than some of the other teams here, you really have to look towards is how good can we really play until they match up against like the Delawares, the Hawaiis, like those are the squads that you need to be watching out for. And if they're keeping their undefeated record today, I mean, hey, good for them. They're gonna keep on moving on up. Marquette will be left looking for that first win still, and hey, they showed up, they played a good game, and they kept their heads high throughout the entire process of it all, even if UTK might not have taken it as seriously as some of the other games.
Yeah, so I think we're going to go to a quick break. So stay right there in your seats. So we have Montana versus RIT in just a few.
Welcome back to the EGFC Overwatch stream today. We've wrapped up game number 1, UTK again, seeing them come out on top 3. Oh, gotta be something getting used to by now, and hey, what a better to hear it from the players himself, Keen Kong, the legend, on it today. I mean, you looked absolutely wonderful out there, and I mean, how does it really feel to come away and keep up this undefeated record with UTK?
Thank you. Well, we just played the game, and we'll just killed the whole team, and I'm just spectating. That's all it is.
Oh, okay.
That's a true support player. Just being you facilitate so well. It's an orchestra that you just conduct out there to have everybody, facilitate to the best of their abilities. I do have a question for you. So on Kings Row, I believe you came out with the Kiriko, which was quite impressive and paired that well with the Roadhog. Was that something that you practiced or something you just came up with off the cuff for that map?
Yeah, I trusted my tank to like just land hooks and go to everybody. And Kiriko does a really good job just like keeping him alive, especially with the Suzu. Like it cleanses his nades and it keeps him alive. And that's why I just put trust in my tank and then he just kills everybody. And we practice that a little
Excellent.
bit.
I love
Right.
it. I love it. So, is there? Do you have a favorite support character that you like to play?
Yeah, I mean Ana. So like as you can see, you can like Helios. I just know what to do. I just throw nades, look for impact, and that's it. And I just one trick her for the most part.
Wow.
An impact you had. Nice.
Whew, that's an understatement. That is literally an understatement. I mean, I'm still getting flashbacks of Lighthouse Well. I don't. You probably didn't see this because you weren't watching, but I literally broke my pencil because I'm like, what is happening? And I was so stressed, and it just snapped in half while I had it in my hands. The funniest thing, not for me, but I mean, it does show that you guys have been looking great all season. And my final question kind of has to do a little bit with that. Like I said, UTK, you guys are currently undefeated, right? And we were talking a little bit just as the casters. The teams that you've faced up against so far aren't necessarily the ones that we consider the top of this division. So when you guys move forward into the later matches of your season, do you have any squad that you might be a little bit afraid of or that you're looking forward to going up against?
I'm not too sure because I'm pretty new to the team, but last year I think they came second place against that one team. I don't know what the name is, but yeah, that's what we're looking forward to play against.
As I believe it was Hawaii, actually, that came away with the first place from last season. So, hey, you guys against Hawaii, that will be one for the ages for sure. And we're going to look forward to that one here on the broadcast as well. And that's all we have for you, King Kong. Thank you so much for joining us on the desk today for the interview. It was a pleasure to watch you on the Flex Support today, and I'm hoping we can see more of you down in the future.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. All right, so, wow. I mean, we heard it from King Kong. Like, he literally just spectated the whole time. Like, that was it. He was just making sure that, hey, get back here. Don't do anything dumb. And, like, that's it. I mean, he was just pulling back the reins when he had to do so. And that's all it was. I mean, UTK, they looked confident and dominant through every step of this series today, Philly. And, I mean, you heard it. We want to see them take that matchup against Hawaii.
Yeah, something that stood out to me is that King Kong said he trusted his tank to do the work, and I think that is also reciprocated. The tank has to then also trust you that you'll be and have his back, right? And so having someone like King Kong in your back line, just absolutely dominating, either on the DPSing people or putting in that healing for you, that gives you so much confidence. You take that extra step around the corner. You go for that pick that you think you might not have because you know that they got your back, and so that kind of confidence in your team is absolutely massive. And he said this is his first season with the squad. So
Yeah.
the fact that they've already built up that trust is huge. So like to see more from them. We'll see what they do in the future for sure.
And this is why we have such high expectations for UTK. Every single time we see them here in the EGFC Overwatch scene, and we'll be watching their journey very closely as the weeks continue to progress. That's all we have for them tonight, but we still have one more match coming up here on the EGF Overwatch stream. It will be RIT taking on Montana State University. So don't go anywhere. Still got one more game coming right up.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Tonight's next series here is gonna be Montana State versus Rochester Institute of Technology. I'm Montaneva, and I'm joined by the talented HD Philly B. Philly, how are we doing today?
I'm doing so excitedly. I'm just fantastic. I'm ecstatic to cast this matchup with you again, Mott. It was always a pleasure last time, so I'm looking forward to it this time. Just talking about our matchup here real quick. We have Montana State University versus RIT. Montana had a pretty arduous route the first couple of weeks of the season. They played University of Hawaii and UD. Played well against both, but got 3-0'd. And then they played UConn last week, and they did really well. Still got 3-0'd on that one, but there's a lot of things that I saw in that matchup that they can work on and improve on upon the season. If they can stay calm and stay focused in this match, I think they have a possibility to win it. On the other side, RIT, they played extremely well against some of the upper level teams like UTK and UD, taking maps off of them as well. So they have a great team play, great coordination. So let's see if they can shine in this matchup tonight. It should be a grudge match that could go the distance.
And the distance it shall go. I mean, as you were saying, both teams have been going through these past couple of weeks and showing improvement with each week that goes by against, even though, sometimes they win, sometimes they lose, sometimes maps go, they win on a map, they lose on a map. It is what it is, because regardless, these two rosters, they are all improving so well as the weeks go by, as the night gets even more into the night, right? Because we are here for a long haul, correct? So these are the rosters here on the side of the Bobcats. We have Cactus, Giraffe, Monarch, Ham, and Iwan. And on the side of the Tigers, it is Seb, Peter, Foliage, Liam, and Toast. I love how normal the names sound on Tigers. It's like, oh yeah, Seb and Peter and Liam, of course. I love it. So that is our roster for tonight's game. Again, is as always is a first to three best of five game set. So it could be a long while. We could have an hour and a half game today. We could have a 30-minute game today. It really depends on how pumped up and motivated the teams are feeling today. Here is our beautiful map pool, which I can't even lie. I would play in this map pool. I would not mind this map pool.
Marty, when we cast it together in the first week, this was what the map pool was. So everyone's knows what we're going to throw out here for them today on the cast with these maps. I'm looking forward to it. The first one we're going to is Ilios. So that is our control map. Seb is the tank player on the side of Rochester. I'm going to be looking for them to really put in some of the pain, some of the control on this map here. They play a lot of Reinhardt. They're going to create a lot of space, putting that shield up, swinging that hammer. So I'm excited to see, as these control maps are very brawly, how Seb deals with what is going to get thrown at him by Montana State tonight.
Exactly. And as we always say every single week, control is one of those that can super go, one way or another. A lot of time you see that the past couple of weeks, been seeing that dominating brawl play with the Reinhardt at the helm, and we've been seeing a Sim Bastion usually on the back end. Sim so good. Placing those turrets, those are such an important factor if we are gonna have a Sim today. This is an important factor in getting rid of this as soon as possible, because that's 1, 2, 3 extra DPSs we don't want to deal with.
Yeah, that can make any tank's life a living hell. So definitely something to look out for. Maybe if they've watched some videos, that's how they're going to game script themselves to really put the pressure onto Seb. Will he keep his shield up so he can't swing the hammer? What is he going to do there? I'd like to see May. It looks like the first map we're going to is Lighthouse, and that's a really great map for May, as there's a lot of close quarters that she can freeze people up and knock them down. So I'm expecting a really big brawl battle as they're moving through those different choke points to contest this point here. So we're diving right into it. The beautiful camera work of our producer, showing us the wonderful coast here on Ilios, and we're seeing what the teams are going to pick in just a few.
Like you were saying, that May, I hope it does come out, because that's also been a really popular choice as of late, especially with the, oh my god, Hydrangea Queen, especially with the take back of her rework she had. No May quite yet, but I'm still talk about it. She no longer has her deep chill that does 40% over time, and now does a straight 40% slowdown. So she's been very popular very recently, but as I was saying, we are seeing some kind of turret action over here. Might be a last minute switch for Peeber, but Giraffe is definitely starting out with that Sim as soon as possible. And again, both teams are starting off with the Sim, and I love the support duo we have here as well. Very basic and classic brawl comp we do see here. The change here being Reaper for that power that he can really really throw out, and then that Bastion as well for the same reason. Now we are both gonna be teleporting not even to the main point. It's gonna be Montana come to main point immediately with the same teleport, and it's gonna be Rochester on the outskirts immediately. No lamp to be seen. That's a little bit less protection that Montana has at this moment.
Yeah, it's there once again the Rein trying to go into the Ramatra. I like the Rein matchup here, but with the Ramatra's a little extra durability and the cooldown on his Nemesis form could cause some problems. But Seb said no thanks, just swinging that hammer straight on through with all the support in the world with Liam and Toast at his back. They were able to take that point pretty easily. Now they're going to try to set up with some of those turrets, get Foliage into the proper position to lay down that suppressive fire as Montana tries to approach.
I'm loving this high ground play that Rochester is taking right now. Use that shield, get that Bastion, use turret form, and that's a really good way to just protect your Bastion for a little while longer. Now, of course, our Rein. I love the teleport that you saw that. We keep our Rein back up on top, take care of our Bastion. Unfortunately, Giraffe comes in on top, trying to get maybe a sneaky kill, trying to get it out fast, but with all 5 the high ground, Giraffe goes down for the count, and Monarch there. So, by them. Celtics has to get out there as soon as possible. You only have your spear, the rotation thing, and it's not gonna do anything, unfortunately, with Sim's beam. It goes right through that, unfortunately.
Yeah, I really like the rotation of Cactus onto the Orisa. I think that's a really smart swap away from that Ramatra, and you can see how durable she still is. But the teleportation of the Symmetra turret, just bringing the Reinhardt up the high ground to the low ground, is huge. A massive pick through the window with the fire strike of Seb just picking off Ewan. That's going to be a fight win easily now for RIT. That was that's well done, well struck from them.
Exactly, and with only these in the window right there, you only had to use one ultimate, correct? You have 4 ults on the side of Rochester, who have not been contested once on the point. They have taken such a good job at taking care of the high ground. We have flanking Reinhardt, and the flanking Reinhardt comes and gets the stun. But we have the quick save with the nano from E1 on that Orisa. Is going to be taking him a little bit further into this fight as he goes into the backline. E1 gone for a down, and so is Ham. That's your support base count. No one able to even, although right there, you're a little bit worried about that. Wow, I have no supports. My is down for the count, and by myself, so much. Even is so good at living for so long. She can't do that without any support behind her.
Body, the Rochester is just picking him apart here. Seb, he has so much support at his back, and I think I was mentioning this on the previous matchup. When you have support at your back as a tank, you feel like you're Superman. You can do anything. You saw him how aggressive he was, just swinging in there. He didn't even care if there was a nano, if there was a Reaper in his face. Didn't matter. He knew his supports were behind him, elevating his gameplay, allowing him to just facilitate and create so much space. So Seb, absolute MVP on that last map. Let's see what he does here on the Orisa Mirror.
The Orisa Mirror is going to be really interesting here, especially because look at the support difference here. On the side of Rochester, we have Lucio and Bab, very much a staple in a lot of brawl comms. But here we have the Zenyatta instead, and oh boy, I'm a big Zenyatta fan. That Discord go through right. It's gonna go right through Orisa's Fortify like butter. So we're going over and taking care of this cover area. I love this in teleport to make some establish the space and go right around into the corridor right there of the tall building. Now we're taking this fight right in front of Montana's face. RIT shows no fear as they play corners so beautifully here.
Yeah, that was a good rotation on the side of RIT. They're going to be looking to pick out the Zen first. He's the primary target. He's so squishy, but the Cassidy there is the one that's going to kind of defend him, right? But he's going to keep everybody at bay with that magnetic grenade, so nobody's fallen down just yet. There's Ewan taking out Foliage, and then Giraffe finding Seb. Just the two I was talking about coming to fruition and finding the picks that they needed. This has to be the take now on the side of Montana State. A nice boop. Oh, Toast booping too? Does he turn this around?
Toast just turns around and gets the beach up as well, keeping the team alive even longer. Look at this. That boop was so important. You got rid of 2 of 5 characters, of course, on the team of Montana. So it's a matter of, okay, we literally lost 2 of our really good team members. We have to run it back. We have to, you know, force it back, regroup, and rethink our strategy here. We're going to the main hallway once more, and I love that Seb is unafraid of just going right into the javelin spin and then fortifying and getting rid of Monarch from a distance. That's what Orisa does so good. She survives and she gets rid from a distance, and I love that Seb is using her to pretty much the best capacity you really can in this Orisa mirror.
Adi, this is what I was saying at the beginning. Montana cannot get tilted. They need to stay focused because they had that last fight won. And then Post comes in with a miraculous play to boop 2, and the fight is lost. Absolutely turned on their head. A nice switch here. Monarch has his tack visor. Let's see. Seb doesn't even care. He goes right in with the Terror Surge and combos right with Bullies with the Artillery Strike. Ewan a little too late on that Transcendence, not able to keep his team up, and they just go barreling through RIT and just bodying everybody over. And that's another fight win on the side of Rochester.
I felt that Zen Trans in my heart. Sometimes it happens where there's too much damage output and you can't heal your team. It sounds impossible. It is not a moving immortality field. I wish it was. It's not. And sometimes it can out damage the Transcendence. So unfortunate. Good thinking from Ewan. We're gonna be bringing that to go for more action with that Brigida getting those nice buffs here. Going in for the Terror Surge, beautiful mortality field, getting your teammates out of there from Ham. I'm sorry, not from Ham, from Liam. Hopping the window as well as Humongous here. And the High Noon not going to be quite enough either. That's going to be allowing Rochester State Institute to not only go through the well, but take the first map in a stunning 200% to 0.
Yeah, for sure. They had to do everything that they could to retake that point. Monarch sacrificing himself to get the overtime wick to start burning. Everyone there collapses in after. A great disengage from the Terror Surge by using the Lucio speed boost to get everybody out of position. And then the Sim Wall just protecting everybody after that. And Montana had nothing they could do. There's that beautiful double boop by Toast that we love to see. But once again, I think that Sim Wall was the one that really took the cake there in that final fight, because once everybody was scattered, then they were all on different sides of the wall and they couldn't shoot, they couldn't find a pick-off, they couldn't coordinate. And so from there, Rochester was able to just use their communication skills to great effect and take players down one by one. And then I think Giraffe came in late, tried to use the heroic Deadeye, wasn't able to find a pick-off of that, and the point was there. So a really well-done map from Rochester University. I think our next map here is going to be Kings Row. And Kings Row, Madi, I know you and I love it. We say it every cast, every time. But what I love about Kings Row and Escort and hybrid maps is that the tactics come through. Because you really have to play defense. You have to set up, right? You have to say, okay, this is where we want to be. This is the choke we want to hold. And you have to play tactically towards that, whether it's the competition or the compositions you play, the characters you choose, whatever it might be. So I think on Kings Row, we might see a little bit more from Montana here, as they'll probably come out with a tactic that they practiced and reviewed multiple times.
Exactly, well said. On Kings Row, there's more pressure on the defense than there is on the attacking side of things. When you are on defense, you can't be scared to go forward and hold a corner or hold a choke point, like you said. And a lot of times, teams do tend to press that S key and go backwards and backwards and backwards instead of holding W and planting themselves, saying, you will not pass this point, you will not pass this choke. And sometimes it works so well, you're not even going to unlock this objective. So I'm really hoping that on the side of both teams, we see that defense come through. Now, here, lots of Ryan I've been seeing here, playing that corner in the very beginning, playing with the Mei wall as well. This is a very much made us so well here because of the fact that you can block out so many entrance points. You can block out the hotel, block out the main hallway. You can block out a lot of different areas where now suddenly your team has to be forced to for that.
I feel like you're about to say that Maywall can black out the sun. You can block out anything with that ability.
It was blocking out my Wi-Fi connection for a second. It was kind of scary, but Maywall's just that powerful. So hopefully we can see it be used defensively here on Kings Row. But on the attacking side, I feel like a lot of times anything kind of goes. You can go dive. You can go again. You can match the brawl comp. You can match a lot of things. Ooh, Zarya. I hope we have a Zarya. I love a good Zarya on my team.
I would love to see the Zarya as well, even though she got a few of those nerfs in this last season patch. But Definitely a strong character. Seb, though, is, he's the guy I've been talking about, the one I've been looking for. All right, he finally says I'm going on my tried and true Reinhardt, which is the pick I wanted him to do. But I was curious to see if he was going to do the ball or even Roadhog, because in our last matchup we saw Roadhog and it worked to great effect. So definitely excited to see him there. Ewan, once again, on the Zenyatta. It's an interesting pick for me. Zenyatta's a little bit on the low end right now, so we'll see if they can utilize him to kind of break this choke.
I mean, when you are, this is the corner I was talking about right here, that next to the hotel, such a good corner to maintain, and Zarya's gonna have a difficult time getting through that Ryan shield, as you can kind of see. Seb is just chilling, pulling up shield, and then that beam, where's it gonna go? Now you see a teleport go all the way to the high ground, right behind the Rochester Institute of Technology, and this is right on top of it is Rescue Toes, right on top of that Sim teleport. And as we see that distraction, we're gonna be using the lamp and likely going to be going for that health pack, and we are the mini pack, gonna be saving Seb for a little while longer, forcing Montana to retreat once more. I love of Zarya Seb is because once she doesn't have her bubbles, you can just swing at her for as long as you want as Reinhardt.
Yeah, the go button is down. The W key, as you were mentioning, Madi, is held of great force. There was a slight rotation there on the side of Montana, but not everybody went through the teleporter, and from them, they got split. And then Sebas is going to take it every time. He's going to swing right through, and he was able to take everybody down. Once again, the Zenyatta, such a vulnerable piece in this composition. We're going to be looking to take him out. Here comes the window, and Foliage just annihilating Cactus right through that window, sending him straight back to spawn.
Unfortunately, Sneaky was caught in that corner there, was not able to get back to the team, and has to be forced to kind of be staggered for a little while longer, forcing the group up to take even longer than usual, right? Foliage on the Bastion and Seb on the Reinhardt, that synergy they're having right now is so beautiful to watch. You see every single time Reinhardt has shield up, we go turret form. You see the window being popped by Liam, we have turret form. It is a beautiful, beautiful showcase. Now again, that turret form is coming right out. You see Seb come in with the assist with the shield to make sure that our Bastion does not fall whatsoever. Using artillery cannon, trying to get our BAP in the back line. And will we? No, we're going to stagger it out a little bit longer and probably get the Ana slightly, barely surviving.
Everyone was dancing in that backline trying to dodge those artillery strikes. What I like about RIT is that they're using their ultimates just one by one. Here comes a massive hammer down, just getting everybody on the side of Montana State and just knocking them all down like dominoes, barreling them over. Well done once again by Seb. But what
Go Ana! No! Ana! Okay, I'm sorry. I felt
so
that.
staggered.
I felt that.
We've been there, Monty. I know you and I play support. We've been there too many times. But what I like about RIT is that they're ult cycling so well. They're just using one ult at a time to win these engagements, right? Win these fights. So it's so crucial, especially on defense, to whittle down this time. Monty, they have almost less than a minute to take this point. They haven't even gotten a tick. I don't even think they've even touched it yet.
No, they haven't. They've been trying to go for all these different kind of rotations or trying to just push through the Ryan brawl. And that's what Brian does so good. He is not going to let you go through this chokehold. You gotta find a different way. Now, that is a fully charged Zar. That is a window. That is a grab. No immortality field. This could be the opening they needed. Oh my god. That's everything. They're dead. They're dead. That's everything. I saw a grab. I saw a dragon. Everything had to be used there.
The analysis on that was just press Q, wombo comp. Like, it was just grab, take the lamp down. Even though the sound barrier came through, the dragon strike just absolutely annihilated everybody. That was just a press Q to win, and I jinxed them. They went from a full hold to giving up the point. Now 3 minutes on the clock here from Montana State. They're making it a game now. Let's see how they do on the streets phase here, as there's a lot of high ground, low ground, alleyways to work with.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that we can get Sneaky on that high ground. You know, where Widow, Ashe, and Han like to be, and where they like to kind of be dominant is that little high ground window in that building. I think Rescue Toes is going to be there just kind of filtering out. Oh, wait. Pharah jump scare? We did a quick switch to Pharah. Oh, I see. Very interesting choice here because we do have the Bastion that can be such a powerful tool against Pharah. Speaking of Bastion, that's artillery cannon once more, trying to get the core on but Ewan living once more the skin of the teeth. Ooh. And sleeping Rescue Toes. and a big, huge purple is really good, but unfortunately no one able to peel fast enough for E1, and that's going to be having another reset in favor of a reset for Montana once more. No support, no tank. Might as well just back up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I liked the sleep there. That was a great mechanical display, but he should have just backed off. He shouldn't have been like, all right, I'm going to go for this kill, right? Because the team was behind it. So, yeah, definitely a little misstep there, but it looks like Montana State, they need to regroup here, find a way to find some purchase on this payload, and not get bowled over here as Seb is coming once again in with the Earth Shatter. He's going to try to look to use this probably under the cart in a sneaky fashion. Oh, the nice window combo just barely off timing, but oh my gosh, the rain from above, the justice coming down, taking Liam out, but he sacrifices his life for it. It's a 4v4 matchup now, Madi.
And it's definitely doable for both teams here. That's a sim wall active and ready right in the outside of the cart, which is such a good placement, may I tell you. That means that Rochester can just kind of sit behind this wall for so long, and Montana can't push the cart no matter what. So they're hitting this for so long. The instant the window comes up, boom, shatter. Everyone is unable to use the window, and I love that lamp from Ham just to keep the team alive a lot longer. Another artillery cannon. That's like the third one already. Foliage getting so much usage out of the DPS, the DPSing they've been doing this whole time. On the clock, less than a minute, by the way, which I haven't even noticed. Shield is low here. This team fight is going. He has his lamp and a beat as well, just for that grab. Trying to combo with Monarch's artillery cannon, but it's not going to be enough as this fight continues like even longer than anticipated.
Madi, every time that RIT is using their ultimates, maybe they're not getting a pick, right? But they're creating so much space. That artillery strike at the start of that battle split everybody in 3 different directions. That takes so much time to get everybody back through the choke, right? And you can put so much damage as they're trying to regroup there. And so that's what they're doing. They're utilizing these ultimates to take time off the clock. It doesn't necessarily like you have to get kills, you have to win the fight, whatever. If you're taking the time, it's an objective game. That's all you need. And look at that. So much space created. They pushed them all the way back to the spawn doors. They couldn't even touch the card at the end to unlock overtime.
Exactly. And that's what people will kind of forget. It's not about your elims. It's not about any of that. It's about getting point A to point B to point C. And if you can do that effectively, you are winning the game no matter what. The push here for Rochester is going to be very doable. Okay, especially with Seb at the helm, with that Reinhardt, with that aggressive gameplay, with the I feel like having no fear because of how much trust you have in your battle. They should be able to maneuver either through the main or even up here and get like a sim teleport to high ground and go and wrap around. Anything could really happen here, and I think it's gonna be Montana that has to be really careful.
For sure, and I think so. In the attack there for Montana, Cactus was the focal point. He was the one that says, all right, when I grab, that is our go button. That is our win condition. Everything layer on top of that. But he only got 2 grabs that entire time. One to take the point and one at that very last moment. He wasn't efficient enough in accruing the ultimate percentage because he wasn't putting out enough damage. The Ryan shield with Seb was just blocking so much of that laser beam that he wasn't able to accrue that ultimate fast enough. So everyone was kind of waiting for him to catch up. And if you're playing the waiting game, especially how RIT was playing it with that patience and that zoning ability, then you're not going to win it out. So that win condition, unfortunately, didn't pan out for him here. Now RIT on the attack, they're going to be looking to close this one out quickly.
They absolutely will. You saw that everyone was on the high ground. You saw Ryan come down there, and that is the rotation I was telling you about. The teleport to the high ground, kind of attacking the back line, using his shield of protection for Foliage to kind of just do his job, right? And doesn't get any picks there, but it creates so much space. And they're going even to the back. They're going to push Rochester. They're gonna push Montana back to Rochester spawn. That's what's gonna happen right now.
A ring around the Rosie, a full wrap around here, but it looks like they're gonna retreat just a little bit, and just this rotation. Buddy, the amount of coordination that it takes to do this amount of rotating as a full 5-person squad is incredible. This is a practiced team. They've done so much work in the offseason to put this together. That is, wow, that's beautiful Overwatch to watch, as everything just took that point so easily. Montana didn't even know where to look, who to even shoot at during that engagement.
Oh, I know it takes this much coordination. Please, it's hard to even get everyone to stand in front of the teleporter at the same time most of the time. So to do it 3 times in a row, that is just kind of the difference. Oh, you guys love it. Good night.
Uh-oh.
Alright, there we go. Alright, that is kind of just the difference. That's the coordination, that's the teamwork, that is the practice these guys have been putting in for so long going into Season 5 of EGF. It is beautiful to watch. Again, Monarch by themselves over here. I'm not sure what we're going to be doing around this corner because you don't have a tank behind you, you don't have any supports as well. It's getting a little bit scary here as Seb goes in for the kill. Goes in and just all that big old space. As likely you see, you know, Rexios or the supports on the backline, on the payload, trying to move it a little bit closer to that beautiful golden square. Seb picking out Ewan. That's a lack of support. That's 2 supports down and your tank. That might as well be the game. 2-0 so far for Rochester State Technology in a beautiful brawl fashion.
Yeah, I think I gotta point out Seb once again. I know I keep talking about him, but this lad literally went into the back line. He did get slept, purpled, backed himself into that like pub area, got the health back, and then came back out of it and was a nuisance in the back line. He killed Ewan. He was he got, I think, the Baptiste as well. He was just causing so much havoc. He split the team in 2 just by being the ganker in that backline as Reinhardt. So it's like, dude, the kid was on a tear. An absolute monster performance from him. And the support, like we were mentioning, absolutely just keeping him alive for sure. And he is keeping himself alive as well. So we're moving on to map 3 now, which will be our Flashpoint map in New Junk City. So I'm looking forward to that one for sure.
Before we get into that, though, we will be going to a really quick break just to give our people a little bit of time to chat. We can get some water for ourselves, so we'll be right back. Welcome back! Alright, took a really quick break. As a recap, Rochester Institute is two up over Montana. This is game point for them going into our 3rd map of the night. That being Flashpoint, that being New Junk City, I recall. There's only 2 maps. I can't really mess it up, right? So, they have been playing the Brawl very, very well, and the Orisa, you know. In the recent mirror as well, Rochester has been just kind of showing out. They've been playing very well. They have beautiful synergy with each other, and honestly, it's kind of just like peak Overwatch kind of vibes, you know?
For sure, yeah. The Tigers definitely bearing their fangs here as they're just chopping down on the Bobcats. Seb, I would imagine, is going to be playing the Rhine again, and Lucio in the backline just to maneuver the whole team throughout this city to take each and every point. So. But we'll see. You never know. Montana State might come out. The Orisa has been looking good on Cactus. They've been playing very well. It's just the rest of the team hasn't been able to coordinate well enough to keep them alive and capitalize on the space that they are creating when they do. So let's see. Maybe there's some opportunities here as you're transitioning between the different flashpoints to find some picks, find some opportunities to go in and capitalize. So we're diving in just a few. I guess they changed it back to the camera, so it's always good to see your face, Matt. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. But we are excited for this one for sure.
Oh, absolutely. And I think we always kind of mentioned is a Flashpoint can really go by in a flash so quickly. The ticks for the timer go up so much faster than they do on regular control point, and the next point is always RNG. You could be lucky and you can start going a different direction and it's right in front of you, or you're unlucky, you turn around and it's 100 meters behind you. You know, it's a fact of RNG. Just yesterday, actually, if I can just add this real fast, we were scrimming with the other team and we're like, go right, go right, go right. We ended up going right to like the next point, and guess what? It was behind us. You know what's in the best part? The spawn for the enemy team spawned right next to us. So it can be that unlucky sometimes if you're trying to go from point A to point B to point C and you butt heads in the middle of it and then you lose somebody in the fray and it's like, oh my goodness. But in my opinion, is kind of really needed here, and Jungle Queen does so phenomenally on this map as well. They're gonna be Rochester Institute is gonna be speeding towards point here. Also, really quick, there's a swap. We now have No Mercy on the state of Montana. Repping Lifeweaver. Let's go.
Yeah, you love to see the Life Weaver. They can be basically a heal bot, just putting a ton of healing in. But what I don't like about Montana State's composition is it's fairly static, right? But besides Sneak, everyone else is going to be kind of clumped up together, trying to put in a lot of damage. Monarch going incredibly low there, and Seb just taking them down, sending them back to spawn. So they're going to be trying to push in on this one with this Brawl composition here. There goes the Dagger. The Dagger comes flying in, doing a little extra damage, and taking that space quite nicely. Well done.
Absolutely, and I think my most favorite part about these kind of Brawl competitions is you're seeing the two sides of Brawl. It's Jungle Queen, who's more like a rush, in-your-face kind of Brawl character who can come in and out so quickly, especially with Lucio speed boost at the helm. And then you have big ol' Ramatra, who's just gonna punch right through you. So a lot can happen here. Yes! This wall is huge. What were we saying about Maywall earlier? It's so powerful in dictating the speed of which things die. And that's one cactus down for the count, and No Mercy. Indeed, No Mercy on No Mercy. Gone as well.
That Maywall just starting everything off. Ramatra had to use every cooldown in the book to try to stay alive, and as soon as they knew those cooldowns were done, they just rushed him, took him down, and the supports just couldn't do anything to keep him up. So once again, we'll see if they do switch off of it. Cactus is now on the Zarya, which I do think I like in this matchup a little bit more than the Ramatra. So let's see if they can find some effect here.
We also have Monarch going over to the Soldier instead of the, I believe, the Junkrat. So I'm loving the Soldier utilized as like a mechanic, and we walled up the Zarya. Sorry, we're doing that. Super Bowl's gone, and
it's a trap.
Someone's getting pulled right back in. Yeah, it's a trap. Darth Vader's a trap. Go back. Blizzard is ready, by the way, and that's the next flashpoint. Nice. Oh,
what a snotty.
Oh my, Mei is so strong right now because of that projectile. It just destroys, even Lifeweaver, who has the highest support health in the game, does so. Oh! No, Peeber!
She just laid that pulse bomb on the ground and just stepped on it like a landmine, just boom, blown up.
It's okay, Rescue Toast there to save the day. Thank you, Rescue Toast. But this is first point going towards, you know, Rochester Institute Technology. So these flashpoints again go by really fast, and Montana is there with the quickness. Hop in the window. There's no bubbles for Zar, and she is pretty much trapped behind this wall. Even the second bubble not gonna be enough, and then we go for the reckoning. And for a second, I thought we were gonna go in that little hole, which would have been hilarious. Nice pull, beautiful pull.
Wow, yeah, good rescue on for his friend, but ultimately to no avail as two headshots come flying in from the side of RIT, just taking out the stragglers. And Monty, this is what we were kind of talking about at the beginning, where it's like some of these little skirmishes are happening all around the map that teams can't be coordinated enough to stick together and find some effect there. So yeah, they were able to split them up, use the window to kind of scatter, and then Seb just came barreling through and just axed people, stabbed them to death. So they were able to capture the point off of that 40% on the counter.
Exactly. I love the suppressive fire that Peeber is laying down, though, trying to kind of, you know, utilize Soldier's Railgun in the main way, in the off angle, and as well as the high ground, just kind of keeping their eyes on everything going on. And speaking of keeping their eyes on everything, that Transcendence is not going to help Cactus for any longer, but at least get the team maybe out of there in time, saying, hey, we got to get out of there. But Peeber taking a swing at E1, and No Mercy, going to Mercy, funnily enough, going to be going down for the count as well. And that is, I don't think they're going to fit one more team fight in here. Monarch has Visor ready. Don't do it. Don't cook it.
Nah, he's gonna wait. I
Nice
gotta say, buddy, that shot to take down E1, it was pixel perfect to find him right at the end. And like we were saying, he was kind of the pivotal piece, the easy target to prey on there. And that caused him to switch. He's now on the op.
Yeah, Ewan has been switching a couple of times today, going from the Ana to the Zen and back to the Ana. Kind of very utilizing a lot of low movement heroes like Zenyatta and Ana on a very high mobility map in general. So how they're using it, let's see here. Now the wall is there, the window as well, utilizing grab to get out of the situation. Really smart, but Peever coming in just to kind of clean up the DPS side. Sneaky on the Genji, down for the count. And again, I love that as a response to the grab, we go for Blizzard. And Blizzard's kind of cleared everything out. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to come at us while we're grabbed, you have to walk into a blizzard, and you're going to get frozen up by the time our grab is done. We're going to have time to kill you, and that's exactly what happened. And double headshots came flying out from the side of RIT, take the members down, and it was an easy fight win for them.
Yeah, we have time for maybe 2 team fights here on Montana's side. Going over to the Risa once more. Cactus, I agree with the pick only because Risa is just a good, formidable character. Trying to break the shield there, but look, fine, look. The Fortify actually allows Cactus to survive even while being walled off for that long, while the team is trying to break through the walls there. The Rampage hitting pretty much the rest of the team on the outskirts of the point. And again, another team kill, 70% on the clock and counting relatively quickly. They got a speed boost out of there. They need a Lucio to get a point at some point.
Yeah, Madi, I think that's the biggest flaw here is that Montana's just walking into the trap. They're just being so predictable about what route they're trying to take to the point. And so these walls are just easy to even predict. Like, Foliage could probably close their eyes and put the wall up, and there it is, a super quick win. So, like I was mentioning, I think Montana's going to have to revisit how they play these maps, maybe take different angles, different routes to the point, so that they're not as predictable. Like, it was yeah, it's easily read from the entire start to finish like a book. So, I think next time they're going to try to look to see how they can access these points a little bit differently.
I completely agree, and I think also the fact that Nujung, Flashpoint as a mode in general is still relatively new. A lot of things are still being tweaked around, what comps go where, what does well in this, like, certain map versus this map. Everything's still being tweaked around, but I feel like still Lucio is such, not even just Lucio, mobility units, characters are such staples on Saravasa and New Junk City. You need a Lucio, you don't need a Jungle Queen, but it's preferred. You need a Sojourn for mobility, you need Genji, you need a lot of characters that kind of get to point A quickly and evaporate everyone, okay? Like, you don't have time to be going the slow poke at all. You don't have time for all that. You have to go in, evaporate everybody, and then get out.
Yeah, mobility is definitely the key on that game mode for sure. And mobility, Montana did not. They were steady like the mountains and just weren't able to do anything. Even they couldn't find what composition was working for them. Something else I'll have to say is that the DPS duo for me didn't shine as brightly as I would have liked. I feel like we didn't really call them out as well or as fantastically as we wanted to. So Monarch was holding on to that attack visor for at least a couple of fights. I would have liked to see him pop it, but the thing is, Monty, the fight started and ended so quickly, he felt like he never had the opportunity to do so. So I think that's something they're going to have to revisit. They're going to do a little bit more coordination, a little bit more teamwork to try to be a little bit more cohesive in these battles moving forward.
Completely agree. But before we end out for the night, we do have a very, very special interview coming right up after the break. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And we're back, everybody. We're not going anywhere, please. We have an interview lined up for you guys right here. And as a reminder, Rochester Institute of Technology, they took a 3-0 victory over the Montana State Bobcats. So we do have a very special support here, which is Liam. Hey, Liam, how are you today? How's it feel? Congratulations. What's the vibe right now? How does it feel?
It feels good. We've had a rough first couple matches in EGF, so this was a nice. It was nice to get a win on the board, basically. So feels good.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you've had a couple tough matchups, but your skill has shown through. You took a map off of a bunch of top teams. We know what you guys are capable of. So this is a good way to get that momentum rolling. So one thing I noticed is that, you're playing the Baptiste, one of the top tier supports in the game, and you're doing that tried and true combo of the window to the fire strike. Now, is there a special call word or key? Like, are you all like strike, or like do you just say, or do you just feel it out? How's that work?
So our tank player is really good at Reinhardt, so we've gotten really used to, like, I saying I'm windowing, I say 3, 2, 1, and he times that fire strike well. It gets us a pick like 50% of the time. It's really great.
Yeah, that's a massive combination, and you guys do it to great effect for sure. Do you like playing the Baptiste? Do you feel like just because that's the meta, that's what I gotta play, or is there support you'd rather play?
My favorite support is Zenyatta. Like that's like the truth. But I enjoy Baptiste. Like I enjoy a lot of the supports. I just enjoy the support line. But it's rough because I've been playing nothing but Baptiste recently, so I haven't gotten a chance to play Ana or Zen and stuff. So I like to branch out a bit, but Baptiste is working well.
For sure. Yeah, you're talking to two Zenyatta mains ourselves, and our poor boy hasn't really been in the meta too much recently.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, on the other side, Montana State tried to run the Zen, and we saw exactly why. He's not meta. You guys were able to pick him out more often than not, and not have him do anything at all on the other side. So, yeah, well done.
Exactly. Again, Zenyatta main. I miss him so much. But on the other side of things, before we let you go, a quick shout out to whoever you like. It could be anyone on your team. It could be your whole team for all we know. It could be your school, your parents. Who we want to give a quick shout out to before we get out of here?
I want to give a quick shout out to Peter. His username is Peeber on our team. He wasn't originally on the team, but we had some kerfuffle, and he now filled this position for us, and he's been bringing me his game. So it's good.
Yeah, let Peeber know he's been doing amazing out there as well, okay?
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Liam. Once
Thank
again,
you.
congratulations. No, of course. Have a good rest of your day. And again, going back to us right here, Rochester Institute of Technology, congratulations once more. We are Ma'aneva, and this is Play Next to Me. Do not forget, this is not the end of tonight's Overwatch games. There's still one more at 10:30. You have 10 minutes to go spectate the next game, which is Hawaii University versus William and Mary. So that's going to be over on twitch.tv /official EGF. Please go to mainstream and support our casters and our crew over there. In the meantime, we are packed up for the day. Beautiful 3-0.
Yep. We surely are. As always, Madi, it has been a pleasure casting with you. Got to give a shout out to our producer, Time to the Light, absolute stud over there on the ones and twos. So appreciate you, my friend. And for us over here at EGF, we are signing out for the night. We'll catch you next time.